Number 1. 1985 BMW 635 CSAE 24, priced at $7,000, located in Westminster, California. Now this is one of the most iconic Grand Tourers BMW ever made. The E24 6 Series, often called the Shark Nose, has that long, low, aggressive profile that still looks stunning today. Finished in a bronze gold tone with a brown interior, this one leans fully into that classic 80s luxury vibe. It's got presence, character, and a design that stands out without trying too hard. Under the hood sits a 3.4-liter inline-6, and this particular car has had a ton of mechanical work done. We're talking fuel system components, sensors, ignition parts, suspension upgrades, brakes, you name it. So while the mileage is high, a lot of the important stuff has already been refreshed. Now, it's not perfect. The AC doesn't work, the sunroof is stuck, and there are cosmetic issues like paint chips, a sagging headliner, and some interior wear. But honestly, that's expected for a nearly 40-year-old car. Behind the wheel, this is pure old-school BMW. Smooth power delivery, comfortable ride, and that slightly boaty feel that actually makes it a fantastic cruiser. It's the kind of car you drive for the experience, not just the destination. As a project, this is more of a rolling restoration. Mechanically strong, but with plenty of room to improve cosmetically and make it truly shine again. For $7,000, this is a charismatic classic BMW with serious presence and a ton of potential. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 2. 1967 Mercury Cougar XR7 Coupe 2D, priced at $4,999, located in Las Vegas, Nevada. Now this is a seriously cool and underrated classic. The '67 Cougar XR7 was Mercury's answer to the Mustang, but with a more refined, upscale feel, and honestly, it still flies under the radar today. Finished in green, this one has that classic late 60s muscle car presence. Long hood, sharp lines, and a slightly more mature design compared to its Mustang sibling. Originally, this was a rare big block 390 S-code car, which makes it pretty special. Right now, it's running a 351 Windsor paired with a rebuilt C6 automatic transmission, though interestingly, that setup isn't included unless you pay extra, so keep that in mind. Condition-wise, it's a project. The body is mostly solid with minimal rust, just one small area on the quarter panel, and it already has new floor pans and seat risers. But there are dents, missing pieces like the power steering pump, and overall it needs work to be fully road-ready. Driving experience? Well, once sorted, this should feel like a proper classic cruiser, big V8 torque, smooth automatic shifting, and that old-school American road presence. As a restoration project, this is where things get interesting. Between its original S-code history and solid structure, it has real potential to become something special with the right vision and budget. For $4,999, this is a rough but promising classic with strong roots and a lot of upside. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 3. 1982 Nissan 280ZX manual 5-speed, priced at $3,900, located in Chino, California. Now this is a classic Japanese sports coupe that still has a strong following today. The 280ZX represents the transition era where cars started becoming more refined, but still kept a lot of that raw, analog driving feel. Finished in gray inside and out, it has a simple, clean look. The design is very much early 80s, sleek, low, and aerodynamic, with that unmistakable long nose, short deck proportion. Under the hood, it's powered by a 6-cylinder engine paired with a 5-speed manual transmission. And that's really where this car shines. According to the seller, it runs and drives, shifts smoothly through all gears, and the clutch feels solid. Now, this is definitely a project. There's an exhaust leak, a leaking fuel injector, and it could use a full tune-up. The paint is faded, and the interior shows wear, especially on the driver's carpet. But on the bright side, the body is straight and rust-free, which is huge for a car of this age. Behind the wheel, the 280ZX is all about connection. Lightweight feel, manual gearbox, and that classic rear-wheel drive balance make it a really fun car to drive, even in project condition. As a restoration candidate, this is a great starting point. It's already running and driving, with a solid body, perfect for someone looking to bring a classic Z back to life. For $3,900, this is an affordable entry into vintage Japanese sports cars with tons of potential. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 4. 1984 Chevrolet Corvette Convertible 2D, priced at $5,000. Located in Santa Ana, California. Now this is where the C4 Corvette story begins. The 1984 model introduced a completely new design for Corvette, more modern, more aggressive, and definitely a big shift from the classic curves of the C3. Finished in brown with a matching brown interior, this one really captures that early 80s vibe. It's got that wedge-shaped design, pop culture energy, and of course, the iconic digital dashboard that made these cars feel futuristic back in the day. Under the hood, this one runs and drives strong, paired with an automatic transmission. It's not a race car, but it's a solid cruiser that still delivers that classic Corvette feel. This particular car also comes with some upgrades, including a new stereo system, Kenwood speakers, a small amp, and a nice set of wheels. So it's already been given a bit of a modern touch. Condition-wise, it does need cosmetic work. It's being sold as is, so expect imperfections in the paint and interior. But the important part is that it runs and drives well, which gives you a great starting point. Behind the wheel, the C4 feels low, planted, and surprisingly connected to the road. It's a different kind of Corvette experience, more balanced and modern compared to earlier generations. As a project, this is a light restoration candidate. Focus on cosmetics, clean it up, and you've got a very cool retro sports car. For $5,000, this is an affordable way to get into Corvette ownership with a unique 80s personality. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 5. 1988 Ford Mustang GT Hatchback 2D, priced at $13,900. Located in Peachtree City, Georgia.
AC blows ice cold. Got a nice sub. All new speakers as well. Tack has the typical Mustang issues. Car is awesome. Brand new top and liner and all that stuff. Window, everything was done. It's got a nice sound to it. Tires and shocks are all new. Now they're about 3 years old now. Great looking car. Runs and drives great. Water pump's been replaced. Lots of work. All battery cables. Starter. All the good stuff. Time to let her go.
Now this right here is a true Fox body icon. The late 80s Mustang GT is one of those cars that perfectly captures that raw, analog American muscle feel, and this one looks like a really well-kept example. Finished in white with a red interior, it's got that classic high-contrast combo that just screams 80s performance. Clean, simple lines, hatchback styling, and that unmistakable Mustang attitude. Under the hood, you've got the legendary 5.0-liter V8. The seller mentions it runs sweet, with no oil leaks or burning, and a lot of recent maintenance has already been done: valve cover gaskets, intake work, ignition components, cooling system, and more. So mechanically, it sounds pretty dialed in. This one's also loaded with features. Cold AC, hot heat, cruise control, power windows, locks, and a fully functional power convertible top that's been recently replaced. Plus, it's got upgraded audio with an Alpine unit and a subwoofer, which is a nice modern touch. On the road, Fox body Mustangs are all about that lightweight feel and strong V8 punch. They're quick, they sound great, and they're just a blast to drive, whether you're cruising or getting on it a little. Condition-wise, this car stands out as a solid driver. It's been taken on long trips without issues, and everything seems to work as it should. That's always a big plus for a classic like this. As for restoration potential, there's really nothing urgent here. It's more about enjoying it as is or making small personal upgrades over time. For $13,900, this is a clean, well-maintained Fox body GT that's ready to hit the road and be enjoyed. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 6. 1950 Chrysler Windsor Highlander, priced at $18,900. Located in Peachtree City, Georgia.
Alright, this is my 1950 Chrysler Windsor. 41,000 original miles. Got it from the great-grandson of the original owner. Some cool stickers on the side for where they got it serviced back in the 50s. Starts right up. Amazing car. Show you around here. Interior, it needs seats. Oh, that thing's heavy. Give me that two-hand. Beautiful car. Tobacco brown, I believe, is the color. Original paint. Sounds good. Straight six. Fun little engine. Beautiful, beautiful car. Sorry, it's going to have to go to a different home soon.
Now this is a true piece of post-war American history. The 1950 Chrysler Windsor Highlander represents an era where cars were all about presence, comfort, and craftsmanship, and this one looks like a beautifully preserved survivor. Finished in brown with a red interior, it has that classic early 50s color combination that feels warm, elegant, and full of character. The styling is pure vintage. Rounded fenders, lots of chrome, and that big, flowing body that just glides down the road. What really stands out here is how original this car is. The seller mentions original paint, original interior, and just over 44,000 miles, which is incredibly rare for something this old. It's not a restored show car, it's an authentic time capsule. Under the hood, it's been gone through and brought back to reliable running condition. It starts right up, runs strong, and can cruise at highway speeds around 65 miles per hour without issues. That's impressive for a car from 1950. Driving this Windsor is more about the experience than performance. It's smooth, relaxed, and has that classic floaty ride that modern cars just don't replicate. And everywhere you go, expect attention, this thing turns heads and gets waves. Condition-wise, it's described as a true driver. Straight, solid, and well cared for over many years of ownership. It's been regularly driven, not just stored away. As for restoration potential, there's really nothing you need to rush into. This is more about preserving its originality and enjoying it as it is. For $18,900, you're getting a rare, highly original classic that offers a genuine vintage driving experience. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 7. 1956 Oldsmobile 88 Holiday, priced at $22,000. Located in Ottawa, Kansas. Now this is what a true custom cruiser looks like. The 56 Oldsmobile Super 88 Holiday already has that classic mid-50s presence, but this one takes it to another level with full custom styling. Finished in deep metallic red with a white roof, it's got that perfect old-school show car vibe. The stance is low and aggressive, and the body has been heavily customized. Shaved door handles, shaved hood and trunk, tucked bumpers, and even a 1954 Buick grille. Add in Frenched headlights and taillights, and this thing is guaranteed to stand out anywhere. Under the hood, it's been upgraded with a 1972 Olds 350 Rocket V8, paired with a turbo 400 automatic. That's a solid, reliable combo with plenty of torque for cruising. It's also sitting on a later Oldsmobile subframe with disc brakes, so it's not just about looks, it's built to drive. Inside, it blends classic and modern nicely. You've got a power split bench seat, a tilt column, fresh headliner, and even a Bluetooth touchscreen stereo system, so you can enjoy that vintage feel without giving up modern convenience. On the road, this car is all about presence. It's not meant to be a race car, it's about cruising low and slow, turning heads, and enjoying the ride. Condition-wise, it's described as a strong driver. Not a perfect show car, but a really solid 10-foot car that looks great and can be driven without stress. As a project, most of the heavy lifting is already done. This is more about maintaining or adding your own personal touches. For $22,000, you're getting a fully built custom classic that's ready for shows, cruise nights, or just enjoying on the weekends. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 8. 1931 Ford model, a convertible roadster, priced at $15,500. Located in Victor, Montana. Now this is about as classic as it gets. The 1931 Ford Model A Roadster takes you all the way back to the early days of American motoring, and this one looks like a really honest, well-preserved example. Finished in a soft tan color, it carries that timeless pre-war charm with its simple lines, exposed fenders, and upright stance. This isn't just a car, it's a rolling piece of history. What makes this one special is that it still has its original steel body, along with the original engine and transmission. That's something collectors really appreciate, especially in a car that's over 90 years old. According to the seller, it starts easily, runs great, and the brakes are working properly. That's a big deal for something from this era. The tires are in decent shape, and overall it sounds like a solid, usable classic. Driving a Model A is a completely different experience. It's slow, mechanical, and very connected. You feel every part of the road, every gear change, every movement. It's not about speed, it's about enjoying the journey. Condition-wise, the paint is described as fair, while the upholstery and convertible top are in good shape. It's not a perfect show car, but it has that authentic, aged character that fits the car perfectly. As a restoration project, you could take it further cosmetically, but it's also perfectly enjoyable as it sits. especially if you value originality. For $15,500, this is a true vintage roadster that offers a pure, old-school driving experience. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 9. 1930 Ford Model A, priced at $17,900. Located in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now here's another true icon from the early days of American motoring. The 1930 Ford Model A is one of those cars that represents the transition into more modern automobiles, and this one looks like a beautifully restored example. Finished in gray with matching tones throughout, it keeps that clean, elegant pre-war look. The bright chrome bumpers, Ford-branded side steps, and classic trim details really bring out its timeless character. This particular car has gone through a frame-off restoration a few years ago, and it still presents extremely well. That's a big plus, because it means the structure, body, and mechanical components were all addressed properly. Under the hood, it's powered by the original 201 cubic inch inline-4 engine, which has been rebuilt, paired with a 3-speed manual transmission. Recently, it's also had work done on the brakes, rear axle, clutch, and even new tires, so it's been well sorted mechanically. Driving a Model A like this is all about stepping back in time. It's simple, mechanical, and incredibly engaging. You're not driving fast, you're enjoying every moment behind the wheel. Condition-wise, this one stands out as a very clean and well-restored example. It's the kind of car you could confidently take to shows or enjoy on weekend drives. As for restoration potential, most of the heavy lifting has already been done. It's more about maintaining its condition and preserving its history. For $17,900, this is a beautifully restored Model A that delivers a true vintage driving experience with peace of mind. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 10. 1985 Chevrolet Corvette, priced at $5,500. Located in Glendora, California. Now here's a budget-friendly entry into classic American sports cars. The 1985 Corvette C4 represents that bold 80s era with futuristic styling and some seriously cool features for its time. Finished in gold with a tan interior, it's got that unmistakable 80s luxury sport vibe. Sharp lines, low stance, and of course, those iconic pop-up headlights that still work, always a fan favorite. Under the hood, this one comes with a 4-speed manual transmission with functional overdrive, which makes it a more engaging driver compared to the automatic versions. The seller mentions it was running and driving great until recently, when an intake manifold gasket was replaced. Since then, it turns over but won't start, possibly pointing to a fuel injector issue. On the plus side, a lot of important maintenance has already been done: new fuel pump, new fuel filter, and fresh gaskets. So some of the groundwork is there. Inside, you've got a working digital dash and radio, which really adds to that retro-futuristic feel these C4s are known for. Driving-wise, when sorted, these cars are surprisingly capable. They're low, planted, and have that raw analog feel that makes them fun on back roads. Condition-wise, this is definitely more of a project or light fixer. It's close to being a solid driver again, but it will need some troubleshooting to get it back on the road. As a restoration or project car, this is where it gets interesting. You're starting with a complete car that was recently running, which is always a big advantage. For $5,500, this is an affordable C4 Corvette project with strong potential once the issue is sorted out. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 11. 1964 Mercury Montclair, priced at $7,000. Located in Woodstock, New York. Now here's a full-size classic that doesn't get talked about enough. The 64 Mercury Montclair sits right in that sweet spot between luxury and muscle, offering big comfort with serious V8 power. Finished in blue with a white interior, it's got that clean, classy 60s look. Long body lines, plenty of chrome, and that unmistakable presence you only get from a full-size American car of this era. Under the hood, it's powered by a Ford 390 V8 paired with a Mercury 3-speed automatic transmission. That's a strong, reliable combo, and according to the seller, a lot of recent maintenance has already been done: new ignition components, gaskets, fluids, and more, so it's been gone through to be a dependable driver. One of the coolest features here is the power rear breezeway window, which still works perfectly. That's a signature Mercury touch and something you just don't see on modern cars. On the road, this car is all about comfort. The seller even mentions it rides like a Cadillac, which tells you everything you need to know is smooth, quiet, and effortless cruising, even at highway speeds. Condition-wise, it sounds like a solid driver. The underside is described as super solid, and while there are a couple of minor issues like small fluid leaks and a temp gauge not working, those seem manageable. As a project, this isn't a full restoration, it's more of a light refresh situation. Fix a few small things, and you've got a really enjoyable classic. For $7,000, this is a stylish, comfortable V8 cruiser with unique features and strong daily driver potential. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 12. 1973 Ford LTD, priced at $10,500. Located in Summers Point, New Jersey. Now this is classic full-size American comfort at its finest. The 73 LTD two-door hardtop has that big, smooth presence that just screams highway cruiser. Finished in light green with a dark green interior, this one really leans into that vintage 70s vibe. It's clean, cohesive, and honestly, it stands out in a sea of more common colors. Under the hood, you've got a 6.6-liter 400 V8, and that's exactly what you want in a car like this: plenty of torque, effortless acceleration, and a relaxed driving experience. It starts right up, runs strong, and shifts smoothly. One of the coolest features here is the air ride suspension. Not only does it give you an incredibly smooth ride, but it also lets you adjust the stance, which adds a bit of custom flair to an already stylish car. Condition-wise, this LTD seems very well kept. The paint was redone a few years ago and still shines nicely, the chrome looks great, and overall it's described as a solid, above-average driver. The interior is clean too, with just a couple of minor imperfections. Behind the wheel, this car is all about comfort. It floats down the road, soaks up bumps, and just makes cruising feel effortless, exactly what these big Fords were built for. As a restoration project, there's really not much you need to do here. It's more about maintaining and enjoying it, or maybe adding a few personal touches. For $10,500, this is a clean, stylish classic that's ready to drive and enjoy right away. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 13. 1972 Ford Gran Torino Gran Sport, priced at $25,000. Located in Sellersville, Pennsylvania. Now this is pure muscle car attitude from the early 70s. The Gran Torino has always had that aggressive, long body look, and this one really captures that presence. Finished in green with a black interior, it's got that classic, tough muscle car color combo. Clean lines, wide stance, and just enough flash to stand out without overdoing it. Under the hood, things get even more interesting. It's powered by an original 351 Cleveland V8 that's been bored .060 over, paired with a Lunati cam. That means more power, a nastier idle, and a much more aggressive personality compared to stock. Backing that up is an FMX automatic transmission and a 3.73 Posey rear end with a Detroit locker, so this car is built to put power down and actually move. It's not just for looks, it's meant to be driven hard. On the road, you can expect that classic muscle car feel, strong acceleration, a deep V8 rumble, and a raw, connected driving experience. It's the kind of car that makes every drive feel like an event. Condition-wise, it seems like a solid driver. With 94,000 miles and multiple owners, it's clearly been enjoyed over the years, but setups like this usually mean it's been cared for by enthusiasts who wanted performance as well as style. As a restoration project, it really depends on your vision. You could keep it as a strong street machine, or take it further into a full show quality build. For $25,000, you're getting a seriously cool Gran Torino with real performance upgrades and a ton of character. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 14. 1966 Ford Mustang Coupe 2D, priced at $15,000. Located in Moseley, Virginia. Now this is one of the purest forms of the early Mustang experience. The 66 Coupe keeps things simple, clean, and timeless, and this one looks like a solid example you can actually enjoy. Finished in red with a black interior, it's got that classic Mustang look everyone recognizes. It's not overdone, just a clean, straightforward vintage style that still turns heads today. Under the hood, this one runs an inline-6 engine paired with an automatic transmission. It's not the high-performance V8 setup, but that's kind of the point. It's smooth, reliable, and perfect for cruising without the extra hassle. On the road, this Mustang is easygoing and comfortable. It's not about aggressive speed, it's about enjoying the drive, the sound, and that classic 60s feel behind the wheel. Condition-wise, the seller mentions it's an older restoration, but it still shows pretty well. The car is described as very solid, runs and drives great, and overall seems like a well-kept driver rather than a full show car. As a restoration project, there's nothing urgent here. You could simply maintain it and enjoy it as is, or slowly improve details over time to bring it closer to show quality. For $15,000, this is a clean, approachable classic Mustang that offers a relaxed ownership experience and iconic styling. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 15. 1978 Buick Skylark, priced at $4,000. Located in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Now this is one of those underrated late 70s American coupes that can be a lot more fun than people expect. The Skylark doesn't always get the spotlight, but cars like this have a ton of personality. Finished in a classic look with American racing wheels, it's got that slightly rough, street-driven vibe. It's not a show car, and honestly, that's part of the appeal. Under the hood, it's powered by a 305 V8, now paired with a new Edelbrock carburetor, along with fresh spark plugs and a new distributor. So mechanically, it's been given some attention where it counts. The seller even mentions this car is driven daily, and not gently. Burnouts, hard turns, and it still runs strong. That tells you a lot about how tough and reliable this setup can be. Now, it's not perfect. There is some rust, and it could definitely use a good cleaning and cosmetic work. But structurally, it's still a solid driver with a clean title. Driving this Skylark is all about raw, old-school fun. It's got that loose, analog feel, and enough V8 power to keep things interesting every time you hit the gas. As a project, this car has a lot of potential. You could clean it up, restore it, or even go further with something like an LS swap. The seller even has a 5.3 setup available for extra. For $4,000, this is a cheap entry into classic V8 ownership with plenty of room to build it your way. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 16. 1988 BMW 3 Series 325i Convertible 2D, priced at $19,950. Located in Mineral, Virginia. Now this is a perfect example of why the E30 BMW is so loved. Clean, simple, and incredibly fun to drive, this 325i convertible really captures that classic European driving experience. Finished in Cirrus Blue Metallic with a sand beige interior and a dark blue soft top, the color combination alone gives it a very classy, almost timeless look. It's the kind of car that feels just as good parked as it does on the road. Under the hood, you've got BMW's legendary inline-six engine, paired with a manual transmission, which is exactly how enthusiasts want these cars. Smooth power delivery, great sound, and a very engaging driving feel. On the road, the E30 is all about balance. It's light, responsive, and connected in a way that modern cars just aren't. Drop the top, and it becomes a completely different experience. Perfect for weekend drives. Condition-wise, this one stands out. It's a two-owner car with 15 years under the same owner, and it shows. The service history is impressive, with major maintenance like the timing belt, water pump, and brakes all recently done in 2026. As a restoration project, there's really nothing urgent here. It's more about preserving what's already a very clean and well-maintained example. For $19,950, this is a well-kept E30 convertible with strong ownership history and all the right specs. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 17. 1969 Buick Skylark GS350, priced at $10,000, located in Malvern, Pennsylvania. Now this is one of those classic American muscle coupes that just gets the formula right. The 1969 Skylark GS350 brings together clean lines, a bold stance, and that unmistakable late 60s attitude. Finished in bright orange with a white interior, it's a head-turner before you even start the engine. Under the hood, you've got a 350 cubic inch V8 paired with an automatic transmission, sending power to the rear wheels just like a proper muscle car should. The seller mentions it's currently at the shop with a lot of mechanical work already done, and it's just waiting on the carburetor to be installed before it's fully road ready. Condition-wise, this one sits in that almost there category. It's not a finished show car yet, but it's close, with just a few final touches. Like installing the carb and putting on a fresh set of tires, you're looking at a solid, usable classic just in time for cruising season. Behind the wheel, expect that classic V8 rumble, smooth automatic shifts, and a relaxed but powerful driving feel. This is the kind of car you take out on weekends, hit local meets, and just enjoy the raw simplicity of vintage muscle. At $10,000, it's a very interesting entry point into classic muscle with real potential. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 18. 1979 Pontiac Trans Am 455 V8, priced at $29,750. Located in Naples, Florida. Now this is what late 70s American muscle is all about. The Trans Am has always had that aggressive, unmistakable presence, and this one takes it to another level. Finished in silver with a black interior, it's got that iconic look, especially with the shaker hood sitting right up front. It's bold, it's loud, and it absolutely demands attention. Under the hood is where things really get serious. This one is powered by a professionally built 455 cubic inch V8, paired with a TH400 automatic transmission. That means massive torque, strong acceleration, and that deep, thunderous V8 sound everyone loves. And this isn't just a driver, it's been restored from top to bottom. New paint, fresh decals, a pristine interior, and even a show-quality undercarriage. The car only has a few hundred miles since the restoration, so it's basically turnkey and ready to go. On the road, you can expect a powerful, confident driving experience. With power steering, four-wheel disc brakes, and sway bars front and rear, it's not just fast, it's actually very usable and enjoyable to drive. Condition-wise, it's about as clean as it gets for a car like this. Original body and floors, all refreshed and brought back to life with attention to detail. As a restoration piece, all the work is already done. This is the kind of car you just maintain, show off, and enjoy. For $29,750, you're getting a fully built Trans Am with serious performance and show-ready condition. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 19. 1969 Ford Thunderbird 429, priced at $13,500. Located in Evansville, Indiana. Now this is classic late 60s luxury with a serious dose of big block power. The 69 Thunderbird has that long, low, personal luxury coupe styling, and it still looks incredibly cool today. Finished in green with a black interior, it's got a clean, understated look. It's not flashy, but it carries that confident presence that these Thunderbirds are known for. Under the hood, you've got the big 429 cubic inch V8, paired with an automatic transmission and dual exhaust. That means strong torque, smooth cruising, and a deep, effortless power delivery, exactly what you want in a car like this. This one has had an older restoration and still presents very well. The interior is described as newer and in very nice condition, while the exterior has been repainted at some point and still holds up nicely. Now, it's not perfect. The car currently needs a carburetor and possibly a neutral safety switch, so it's not quite ready to just hop in and drive home. But aside from that, it's described as a very solid classic. Driving a Thunderbird like this is all about comfort and presence. It's big, smooth, and built for cruising, with plenty of power when you want it. As a project, this is a great opportunity. Fix a couple of key items, and you've got a stylish, big block cruiser without starting from scratch. For $13,500, this is a solid driver project with strong potential and classic Thunderbird character. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 20. 1979 Lincoln Continental Mark V, priced at $11,500. Located in Bellflower, California. Now this is peak American luxury from the late 70s. The Mark V is big, bold, and unapologetically extravagant, and that's exactly why people love it. Finished in gold metallic with a burgundy interior, this car has that signature Lincoln elegance. It's classy, a little flashy, and completely true to the era. What really makes this one stand out is how original it is. The seller mentions it's 100% original, from the paint to the interior, and even the 8-track player still works. That's the kind of detail collectors appreciate. Under the hood, you're getting that smooth, effortless V8 power paired with an automatic transmission. It's not about speed, it's about quiet, comfortable cruising with that signature Lincoln ride. On the road, this car just floats. Soft suspension, wide seats, and a relaxed driving feel that makes every trip feel like a luxury experience. Condition-wise, it sounds like a very well-preserved example. With only around 41,000 miles and just 2 owners, it's clearly been taken care of over the years. As a restoration project, there's really nothing to do here. The value is in keeping it original and maintaining its condition. For $11,500, this is a clean, low-mileage Mark V that delivers classic luxury and originality.